Hi everyone, welcome back to my TemTem playthrough, and this is part 39. Last episode we went ahead and defeated the dojo master Dr. Sasaya. We also got our crystal skates to move on forward. I believe the next area will be Rion. But as we have finally got our crystal skates back after 2 regions of not having it and seeing countless areas that are left to explore, I think I'll go ahead and do some much needed backtracking. We really don't have that big of an area to cover either. And since I did actually play a bit more in this game, which I will be definitely uploading in the next week, there is a point where you'll not be able to return back to any of the other regions for quite some time. So if you're planning on doing some backtracking, this is definitely the time to go. Now first of all, let me quickly go ahead and move forward here a bit more. It seems like we have a hermit here who does have a quest. I mean, she is actually an update to a particular quest. Once we have talked to her, we can actually go ahead and move forward. The next update for this quest is right here in this small hotel. We apparently have to buy a couple of sake to go ahead and offer it to the kami. This is pretty interesting. I personally am not sure what the quest is called, but if you are able to do a progress, I think that is still pretty good. Alright. We do have a question mark in Ivaba, which, if you remember, is actually a quest for Mehmet. At some point I will definitely have to go back there. But in this case, I decided to move on forward to Pillars of Hayabao. This is a pretty interesting area. I believe we have tons of new TemTems that you'll be able to find here. If you're wondering why I'm moving forward with the storyline, I'm just gonna go ahead and go to a certain point before I will be going back to backtracking. But of course, here we have our first tamer for Pillars of Hayabao. Now the tamers here are pretty powerful, especially in the upcoming route. This one is a pretty small part of this route, and I must say we still have tons of tamers here. Unfortunately, until you reach the next village, you don't really have any place where you'll be able to heal up your TemTems. The nearest one would be the hotel that we were just at. So I would definitely recommend stocking up on tons of items and making sure that you are actually having smoke bombs. It's a pretty unique item that will immediately take you back to your last recovered temporium or last recovery point. So yeah, I have stocked up everything. I think I'm pretty good. There are still a couple of areas that are now accessible since we do have crystal skates. Talking about which, I don't believe we have anything in Dennis. We have already explored the part of crystal skates in Dennis in the previous episodes. I believe it was after we went to Nanga. In Nanga, we do have a place that is yet to explore. It's Anak Volcano. I have decided to keep that one aside. Anak Volcano is pretty long. It has multiple different floors and tons of tamers. Definitely new TemTems as well, but I think it's a whole another topic. I feel like I'll just keep it aside for just a episode on Anak Volcano. So we are not going to explore Nanga. The only places that are left to explore is actually Tokma and Kisiwa, which is what I'll be trying to complete in today's episode. If you remember, there is a huge part of Crystal Lake, or I would like to say Crystal Field in Tokma, in 2 different places, and smaller parts of Crystal Fields in Kisiwa. So I'm pretty excited to go ahead and explore them. There are definitely tons of items, so it's gonna be pretty interesting. Anyway, back to this battle. We're definitely doing pretty well against most of these tamers. I'm pretty happy that my team members are at a higher level. The only issue at this point is that if I do add a new team member, it's gonna be just me grinding around to just level it up. I've done that for Oshukai. I believe I had to level it up around 10 levels, but that is still pretty fine. I'm hoping that the new team members I add are much closer to my team itself. In any case, let me go ahead and quickly try to defeat this Burnies here. There we go. I might have to go back and heal up my TemTems. But of course, we did not have any new TemTems in this first section here. Of course, just like the other places, especially like Iwaba, we have different sections in this route. As you can see, it is pretty huge. So I definitely would have to at some point go ahead and talk more about the TemTems in each of these sections. So this is the first section, the pathway to the main pillars. So you don't really have anything new here. I'm just making sure that I'm able to get all of the stickers that are in this area. Talking about stickers actually remind me that I have missed one. I believe it's in Onsenshima. That is the place. Unfortunately, I do not remember the name of the town itself. So we are just gonna go with Onsenshima. Either way, we have two more, I'm really not sure what to call them, shamans, I guess. That might be the word. But we do have to defeat them. For Scrunch, I believe Turbine would be the move. And for West Queen, I'm just gonna try any move that is gonna work out with it. Thankfully, Hook does work out pretty well. Alright. Up next, we have another new TemTem, Gazuma. I believe that Rockfall will be a good move against Gazuma. Let's see if we are able to do a big chunk of damage, which we do, which is good. And we are able to take it down as well. Pretty good. That is really good progress. There's one last TemTem left. Alright. Gallus. This reminds me that I have to breed Gallus to complete one certain small side quest where we did agree with the scientist that we would actually go ahead and bring a Gallus egg to them. So it's gonna be interesting. Some of these side quests I'm definitely going to go ahead and wait until the end of this game so I can actually backtrack and then get them completed. I'm actually not sure how complete this game is. I've seen the latest release notes and it seems that this will be the last update for the game. I've not seen the update come in yet. Probably it will come or it might have already come. I have set my Switch to auto update, so it might have already updated it. Either way, as far as I know, I'm pretty sure that this game is complete. At least the main storyline is complete. And there are a couple of stuff you can actually do in the post game. Either way, I'm not too concerned about that. We're just gonna play this game as much as possible and try to complete as much as possible with the post game as well. Up next, we have two more shamans here. It seems that we will see a lot more considering that we are going to a shrine. It's gonna be pretty interesting. Although the concept that I'm surprised about is the fact that the shamans are actually ready to battle. I thought they are not, I would say they are against violence. I'm really not sure if that is the theme this game is going for. Either way, we have defeated them. This actually takes me up to the main section of the higher bow pillars. As you can see, the whole area is a, I believe it is like a whole section. We do have a couple of new TemTems in this, but I'll not be talking about them right now. Unfortunately, I did get a surprise attack from this guy right here. I was totally not prepared for this. Hopefully I'll be able to do a pretty good damage. These TemTems are pretty high in level and they're definitely doing more damage on my starter. But that's alright. I'm just gonna go ahead and switch out my starter and just try to use Rock Wall. Hopefully this one will at least take one of them down. There we go. As for Calibus, I believe a Vent type move will work out pretty well, or a electric type move. In this case, that is what I went for. There we go. Alright. That was surprising. I guess I should have just kept my eyes on the screen. Probably I wouldn't have missed this guy. He also does try to say that he is the victor, but anyway, we did win. After that, I did make my way back to the town, and as you can see, this is actually a update to the Kami quest. If you enter it, you will be able to find the digital Kami shrine. This is pretty interesting. Unfortunately, I do not have a team full of digital TemTems yet, so I'll not be taking up this challenge for now. But of course, if you want to evolve your 2i into a crystal type, this is where you'll have to go. Next up, I went to Ivaba, and if you remember, Mirai is here for battling with a Mimit. It's a pretty interesting quest. I guess we'll have to defeat her to complete it. Ooh, this is gonna be interesting. After all, Mirai here did tell that Mimit is much powerful in a much drier area, which is what we're trying to test. Let's see if that is actually true. Thankfully, I do have Gazuma up in front as well as Oshukai. These two are definitely a really good team. But as you can see, it is true. Mimit is definitely pretty strong here in the dry place. Even though Rockfall did absolutely nothing, at least we were able to do a massive amount of damage with the electric type move, which is what I will just try to use again. And there we go. We have defeated the first two Paharaks. Next two are gonna come up. I believe yep, there we go. Another Mimit. This time, I believe this Mimit is just gonna take Oshukai's DNA, which is gonna make this battle even more tougher. Alright, going for an electric storm. We were able to take down Scrunch, which is good. As for Mimit, I'm just gonna try using Hook. That almost took it down. I guess we'll have to wait for another turn. This time we're just gonna go for Shine Lightning, and that does take it down. Not bad. Speaking of battles, yesterday's battle, the dojo battle, was pretty simple. It was one of the easiest dojo battles I've had, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be tougher from here. Anyway, we have completed that quest. There's nothing really left here in Sipanku other than exploring Pillar of High Abao. It's a weird name. But I decided to go ahead and travel back to Kisiwa. Here we are. These are a couple of stickers that I actually missed. I'm trying to go to a certain crystal field that we'll be able to find right next to this town here. We have a couple more over there. Yep. Alright, here is the first crystal field. We only have a couple of items here. It's actually a dead end, but I'm just gonna quickly go ahead and pick them up. There we go, 3 items. Heading up to the other area, which is there. Unfortunately, I do not know the names of these places, but we are just gonna go through them. I believe there is one right next to Uhuru as well. Yep, here it is. This is in the pathway that is right next to Uhuru town. There we go. That is the location. Next up, I could go to Killim Peaks, but I'm just gonna keep it aside for now. if you might remember, there is a quest that we have to complete in Kilim Peaks. I decided to go ahead and go into Tukma, as Kisiva and Tukma are quite close to each other and you'll just be able to walk over there. Here we do have a huge crystal field in the mines, which, if you might remember, we did traverse once but without a crystal skate. It was pretty tricky, but this time around we'll be able to go ahead and pick up all of these items. Pretty good. I believe there's also a quest here as well. The quest is to find the grandpa, and he's right here. This guy, or this quest, we have received from the hotel back in Sipanku. So we just have to convince this guy, and apparently he's actually stranded here as his crystal skates broke. So we have to actually take him outside. There's a certain pattern in which you'll have to answer for him to actually agree with you. In this case, that is what I am trying my best on. And it seems that we have convinced him. After this, all we have to do is take him to the exit. This one's gonna be a bit trickier as well. It's a pretty funny dialogue, to be honest, but here he is. And he runs off. Alright, he didn't even thank us. But of course, regardless, I'm just gonna go ahead and head back into the field. There are a couple of items that I actually missed to pick up. Here they are. At the end, we do have a sticker as well. There are no new encounters here, so I'm not too worried. But of course, alright, that is all I had over here as well. There's still one more crystal field here in Tukma, so I'm just gonna go ahead and travel to that place. Alright, we are right next to the spiral, so I think this is a better way to escape. But once we are in the corrupted Badlands, we have this whole huge field that we can now explore. I wonder why this field is here, other than the fact that it goes into the dojo war. Yep, this is the club dojo. We have seen one in each area. But we do have a couple of items here as well, which is what I am trying to pick up right now. Going down, we have so many new items here as well. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not missing any of these. I think we're doing pretty good progress right now. And at the end, we have sticker. There are two people here who we can actually talk to. Surprising. I was not expecting anyone on this side, but we do have a quest here as well. Let me make my way there. Two more items to pick up. Ooh, I could actually sell most of these fruit candies, considering that I'm really not using them, or maybe just save them up for my two new team members. There's also a airport or a air terminal here, which is surprising to see. But talking to this mysterious character here, Captain Malika. Oh, this is the famous pirate, huh? I was not expecting a battle at this point, but apparently you have to defeat her. So let's quickly go ahead and try that out. Ooh, she has all evolutions of Toucan. I hope so. I mean, Tuai is a really cool TemTem, and here we have Toucan and what's the other one? The other one is Tukai. Fire and water type, I guess. I mean, after all, they are part wind. But Kazuma is the best one to go against. So we are just going to go ahead and use Rockfall, which is pretty good against Toucan. And Tukai goes down as well on the electric type move. Interesting. Next up, we have Turok, which is Earth, and Tuwire, which is, I believe, digital. Not crystal, it's digital. Oh yeah, and the shrine over there in Sipanko is actually digital, not crystal. Pretty interesting design. I actually really like the digital typing in this one, but all of them look super cool. I wonder if they're really good at battling as well. That's something I would have to try out myself. The last type is actually Divine. This is part nature and part wind. No, I'm actually wrong. This is not nature, it's actually part crystal. This is the evolution you'll get by going through the Sun of Crystal Shrine. Pretty interesting, but there is another evolution for Dubai. I believe it is actually melee, part melee. I do not see that over here in her team, but hopefully we'll get to see it pretty soon as well. As far as the shrines go, I believe we have seen the water shrine, the earth shrine, the crystal shrine, the digital shrine. We still have 2 more left, which is the fire shrine and the melee shrine. Once we do battle her, she does actually disappear, which is actually another new quest. We have to kind of find her and try to defeat her. But I think that is all we have here in Tukma. Never mind, we actually have Gardens of Aslan. You'll be able to go here through Quadzal, which is actually a town in Tukma. This is a small area. If you remember, we have already explored the crystal field here without crystal skates. But there is one pathway that you cannot actually go through, which is the middle one. That is where I am right now. Apparently there are around 3 tamers here who are super powerful, so I would definitely recommend having a lot of items before coming here. Now this is the first one. I believe this tamer is not that difficult to defeat. I guess we'll get to know by just defeating them. But of course, we have a boat train. There we go, we were able to take them down. I believe that is all. Maybe there is one more. Yep, there is one more left, which is Liolai, which will go down with a warm cuddle. Of course, if warm cuddle is powerful. And it is. Alright, that was good. The first battle is not really that difficult. We have to defeat this tamer to get an item at the end. We quickly go ahead and get a sticker and the item. But of course we have this one tamer who is sitting down. Soma is this tamer's name. He is pretty powerful. I would recommend healing up your team before going against him. He has some unique TemTems as well, so it's quite challenging. I did not realize this, as you might see me struggle now. But yeah, here are the TemTems. It is, I believe, a Luma whirlwind. Pretty interesting. I'll be able to take down Inky, but whirlwind is gonna be a challenge. I would have to have Gazuma up in front for that. Using warm cuddle, Inky goes down. Up next, let's see which one we have. Ooh, never mind, we get a new move. I decided not to actually learn it. For Drakesh, I believe Rockfall would be the way. It is 4 times weak to earth type moves, or maybe it's 4 times weak to water. I was just wrong about that. Thankfully, Warren does go down here. Up next we have another Luma TemTem. It's actually a Shuen. It's gonna be tough. Let's see how this goes. I did decide to switch into Saku. Shuen goes down in 1 hit, but Heijin does a massive damage on my Oshukai, which is something I would have to look out for. I would definitely have to take Regine down as soon as possible. Ooh, this is not good. Going with a turbine. We were able to take it down, which is good. As per Kazuma, we almost took it down with the rock fall. I might have to switch out Oshikai considering that it is almost down. Unfortunately, I got hit by electric storm, which surprisingly Oshikai actually survived, but accidentally I killed it. When I was using Saku, I must have misclicked. Instead of clicking on Kazuma, I clicked on Oshikai. But there we go. This tamer is down as well. I just remember this challenge being super hard. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was the other tamer. Who knows? But he does talk about having unique TemTems like his Shuin, which I believe was a Luma Shuin, and it looked super amazing. Either way, here we have our final tamer. I believe this is the last tamer I will have to battle. We have explored everything else except an aqua volcano, which I will be doing a separate video on. Maybe once we go to the last section or the last region. Ooh, she actually has a Mehmet. Let's see how this is gonna go. I really might have to go ahead and revive my Kazuma. I needed to take down the Mehmet. For now, we are just gonna focus on the other TemTems. I did try doing a bit of damage on Mehmet, but as you can see, it doesn't really do that much. But using Meteor Swarm, I was able to take down the digital TemTem. Up next, we have another Hedgine. I wonder if Hedgine is the final evolution for its, I believe its line. Probably not, but I guess we'll get to see. At this point, my starter goes down, but I was able to do pretty good damage on my opponent. I'm not sure if... Okay, alright. We do have Saku up in front. But this is gonna be a tough battle. Let me try to make some damage on Mehmet, as it did turn into Saku, which means it will be weak. Alright, thankfully I see that Andan is holding up. I might have to go for a Meteor Swarm and Turbine. Turbine takes down Hedgine, which is good. As for Mehmet, it almost took down my Saku, but it does go down for this fire type move, Meteor Swarm. There we go. We have definitely completed the backtracking that I was hoping to complete in this episode, so that is really good. The only thing left to do is go ahead and move on forward in Pillar of Higher Bow from the next episode. It's definitely going to be interesting. I'm back here in Sipaku and I just had to complete this side quest. We do get a gift for bringing the grandpa back, which is pretty fun. But that's all I had for this episode. Hope you all enjoyed backtracking and going through the other previous regions in this episode. If you did, please put a like, and if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to my channel, as it really helps me a lot. If you'd like to support me more, check out my links for Patreon and Ko-fi down in the description. But I'll see you all in the next one.